Hello and welcome back to Coffee Infused Crypto. Today we're gonna discuss some macro analysis or macro Bitcoin overview, something I've been monitoring for a while, and I've found some interesting key points from where we are today and what happened earlier, as well as we're gonna go through an interesting pattern, targets of charts we discussed earlier, Bitcoin dominance overview, dollar overview, and traditional markets. This is a time-sensitive video. It's a macro plus time-sensitive because we're 24 hours before the Fed's decision tomorrow. Anticipation between a pivot, 0.25 rate hike, 0.5 rate hike. So if you want to stay updated and notified instantly, make sure to hit the bell icon. That will notify you instantly. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and share the video if you found it helpful. So in today's recipe, this is a very simple chart. This is the 20, we're on the monthly, and this is the 20 exponential moving average, the 20-month exponential moving average in yellow. We're gonna use the stochastic RSI and the RSI. So I was staring at the chart and looking at the exponential moving average, the 20-month moving average, and it triggered me, like we're almost crossing it at the moment, right? It's like we're touching, we might get rejected and we might not. So this is a crucial pivot point in crossing this moving average. So I looked before, and if you notice, this is, by the way, the COVID crash. So let's go back in time and see how this how Bitcoin treated or respected this moving average. And here where the journey started, actually. So if you notice here, Bitcoin, of course, this was the early days, and Bitcoin dipped below this moving average for around 2 months here. And this candle was somehow like ours at the moment, like almost touching this moving average here, and of course it ended up the month closing above it. But I was interested in this candle because it was like at some point of a month touching it, you know, pushing against it. So I marked this line around this area, and if you notice that once we crossed the 21 exponential moving average, for months and months to come, it's like it was the bull market, and we were very bullish price action, and only we went into bear markets when we flipped that moving average to the downside. And this little segment here is around, it's 1 year, so each candle is a month, so this is a year below it, so a year of pain. And then as soon as we crossed it at this candle here, so we had as well like consecutive months and months to come above this moving average, representing a new bull market, and then the down confirmation, breaking it to the downside as well here. So that was a bear market, and then when we crossed it, we spent a couple of months below it. So this moving average isn't crossed every now and then, so it takes time to cross it to the upside, and once we do, we stick above it, and it's represented by an impulsive move. And once we break it to the downside, we stick a while below it, and that leads into pain. At the moment, we are right at it. So let's go back to this candle where we were right at it, you know, and then close the month above it, and let's observe. If you notice the stochastic RSI, and I'm gonna make this bigger here so that we compare. So this is the area I'm looking at, the dotted line all the way down to stochastic. Stochastic was in oversold territories, green line above red line. This is the area I'm talking about. Okay, at the same time, the RSI was at 50. So I'm gonna move this upside. RSI was at, you know, like flirting around the 50, the middle one, so at the dotted line as well. So I'm gonna circle that. So 50 RSI, green above, red in the stochastic, momentum moving from down to the upside. So that was the first incident. The second incident as well, marked it here. This is the candle, right? So candle closed the month at it, and then pushed the next month. So let me point out something before I move on from here. Once we cross this moving average this month and the one followed, I'm gonna put the magnet here so we can get an accurate move. That was a 91% to the upside. So once we shoot over it, it's an impulsive strong movement, right? 91% to the upside, and then we retested it, and you know, all the good stuff. So that's one incident. So on the other incident, and now we're gonna go to the other incident here. So we closed the month right at it after like crossing it and getting rejected. So we will confirm this at the end of the month, right? We still have like 9 days. So once we crossed and closed below it at this candle as well, we had the green on the stochastic over the red going from the downside to the upside, and that is the area I'm talking about here. Okay, and RSI was, again, if you can see here, it's just at the 50 or almost crossing the 50 level from lower to higher. So that was the move around here, and Bitcoin moved once we broke it and the next month to, and it is 60%, 59.4% to the upside push. So that is another scenario here. And then again, we came back, we retested the month later, like a push the month after, came back down, retested this moving average. So keep that in mind. And let's move on. This candle here as well, the month closed at it after trying for a wick to, you know, to wick above it, but then closed below it. The stochastic was a green above red, as well at the center almost here, but going from the downside to the upside in the move, and this is what I'm talking about. All right, and technically that's not what I'm talking about. The dotted line is here, so it's at the oversold territory, green over red moving to the upside. Yeah, exactly, that's the point. And the relative strength index as well, if you can see here, we are right at the 50, flirting, going from below 50 to over 50. So it's the crossing of the 50 as well here on the dotted line. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 with this candle closing right below it, and that led us to another pump. So here, after we broke this with those 3 confirmations, like just as before, for the next 2 months, Bitcoin had a 163% to the upside from crossing this moving average. So as well, and again, for the months to come, retracement and retesting this moving average. We would have held this one without wicking, but this was the COVID wick, so that was a black swan event, but again instantly pushed back up. So where are we today? Let's compare, and then you can make your own conclusions. See, now this is, we technically kind of crossed it, but definitely month isn't over, so we haven't confirmed it. So we're above it at the moment as we speak. So this month is still pushing. Where are we on the stochastic? On the stochastic, green over red going from the oversold territory moving to the upside, just like before. Where are we on the RSI? RSI is still below the 50, but heading up towards 50. So if another push now and ended the month with a higher value, this RSI would be by then crossing the 50 as well, just as it happened before. If not, we might get rejected right at it, and you know, the retested the month before and break it, just like we saw in this incident. So yeah, retraced back below it and then start the next month with a higher green candle. So that would be one as well, a scenario. But I mean, this is something, this is an observation that has happened. I mean, how many times we crossed it before? Like 1, 2, 3 times, and 3 times ended up to the same result with the 3, you know, observations on the 3 metrics. We're using the moving average, stochastic, and RSI. So those observations help you kind of dictate where might we be headed in the future, where might we be heading in the future, and the highest probabilities to do so. So I give you the information, you do the conclusions based on that. That is something. Another thing, interesting thing on the weekly this time, look at this, guys. So this is the parabolic curve step-like formation. Okay, so the parabolic curve step-like formation is when we start creating bases and then push, and then we create another base and then push a third base and then push a fourth base and then push, and then we lose this support, this parabolic trend. So if you can see here, and now we will read what happens at the third base, which is very interesting. We are here, right? This is our candle here. So I shared this with the 123 community yesterday to the group, and I'm gonna explain it fast here. So this is base one we created back in in November, starting November and all the way to December. So this was base one, if you notice, and this is the parabolic trend line, just as you can compare the two things. And then we had this parabolic move to the upside, and base two was here, if you can see, retested this wick, and then we had this move to the upside just like here, and again now we're here. This might be a good scenario as well of moving sideways. Okay, another scenario, and base three, creating base three. And what does this move, or this structure suggest? It says at the end of point of base three, indicated by the X, which is here, okay, symbol, the stock or crypto in this case could, okay, so I'm stressing on could, because we talk probabilities here, double in the shortest period of time. So probabilities of it doubling in the shortest period of time, which is the third move to the upside, is higher than lower. That's a higher probability of, if this continues respecting this structure. So doubling from, we're at 28,100 and at the moment, so doubling from that would take us around 52,500 all the way up to 54. So if I projected that, after, this is weekly, so every candle is a week, so this is a couple of weeks to play out, if you notice. But if we go this far and this plays out, I just went back to look at our points of interest previously. So if we want to respect this, I want to see the previous points of interest, and it kind of respected the top of this accumulation phase around here. So the top of this might be a resistance, and we might be stopped out, or maybe just overshoot it and then get rejected and then retest the lower maybe area. So again, those are like macro observations, but interesting charts to look at and build accordingly. So I'm giving you the information, you can make your own conclusions. So earlier we as well discussed, and I'm gonna link this video in the top right corner so that you can see it if you haven't watched this before. We discussed this move, and where are we now? Back from this break, we said we were around this area when we had the video published, and this was the area we were around it. So this was when we published this video, and we said this is our target. If we are to make similar or approximate moves, we always tend to go to the 0.68, the golden pocket, and that's what happened earlier, and then we got pullback from there. So this was acting as a magnet eventually, and here guys, we just hit the first target. We are at the first target, getting interaction with it. It's kind of resisting us, which is the 0.236, and then we still have two more targets to go, 0.382 and the 0.5, until we reach the golden pocket. So I will keep updating you on this structure, but ever since we were here, at the red candle, we pointed this out, and we're gonna follow this up. So the golden pocket, by the way, at the moment is around 48,900 up to 50,400, and if we go back here, 52,000, this move. So I mean, close numbers. So we're having signals from here and there, but again, it's up to you to decide. I give you the information, you do the decisions. Bitcoin dominance got nicely interacted with our support. resistance, resistance here. So we're having a retracement, a little bit of a retracement on today's. Yeah, this is a little bit off, but this retracement here, we will witness. You'll start witnessing some activity in the altcoins. You'll see them, a little bit more relieved, especially if this went a bit down. You will like maybe like so went back down, retested this, maybe came back up, maybe something like this. You might start seeing like a bit of movement in the altcoin, so keep an eye. If not, we might get back. If this broke, then yeah, we're looking at higher moves for Bitcoin. Of course, the dominance getting higher, like stronger Bitcoin equals weaker altcoins. So that's it for the dominance. The dollar, the dollar index. Yeah, well, today and yesterday and the day before, of course, like this is from Friday and Monday and Tuesday. So yeah, dollars keep losing value, and we're heading towards this support at 102.944. So this support, which supported us around this area, keep an eye for it. So we might, if the dollar bounced from here, the crypto market might have a move to the downside, but again, we'll have to keep an eye. The dollar is not looking in, it doesn't have, it's not looking too good, to say the least. And if today's, like in 24 hours, Fed's pivot, we might see a sharp, like a short-term move to the dollar, for the dollar to the upside, but that will be the kind of the last push created by manipulation. Usually we will be trending to the downside from there on. Markets doing, the S&P 500 is doing amazingly good today. This was the parallel channel, and the S&P 500 broke this parallel channel. So if you go to the weekly, so they can see a clearer view of this. So this is a gigantic inverse head and shoulder, and this was the legacy resistance, which we broke to the upside. So we broke to the upside, came down in this, tested it once in this parallel channel, and came down, broke below it, then reclaimed it. So this is another test around this area, and then came back down, retested it on the third week again. So a kind of a triple retest around this, and now we're breaking this parallel channel to the upside. So this is good. So the target, or the target to this move is back to the top of this parallel channel, so the technical move for it. But again, we'll have to wait and see, and it's not gonna go in a straight line. Always remember, this is the weekly, so it might take us a couple of weeks, but this would be the target, is to go back to this level, which is 4,218. So if this if this is confirmed a breakout, which is we're gonna wait till the week ends and see where the candle would close, that would be very good for the crypto market, because we kind of move in symmetry or in rhythm with the traditional market. And again, look at this, guys. Here we have the S&P 500, the S&P 500 RSI relative strength index touching the 50, almost approaching the 50. So we want to break the middle so that we be bullish again. So we need to close above the 50, retested support, and then go to the push to the higher, in a higher direction. So stay alerted 24 hours, smash the like button, bell notification. Tomorrow we will update you based on the the Fed and all the results from there. It's gonna be volatile. I'd avoid trading at that area, or specifically too much volatility. But tomorrow's meeting is very, very, very important in crypto, in stocks, and in it is gonna affect world's economy. So high priority for tomorrow. Stay tuned, and see you tomorrow. Stay safe until then. Ciao.